have seen that most organizing systems that fail for one simple reason. They assume everyone's brain works the same. If your systems aren't sticking, you're not the problem. The organizational style that you are using just wasn't built for you. If you're a mom who dreams of that homestead life you see on Instagram, but you feel like you'd need an extra 12 hours in your day to make it happen, along with another set of hands, then Simply Living Homestead is for you. Hi, I'm Amanda, wife, mama, and milkmaid. I've learned the secret to simplifying my time and homestead to make room for the moments that matter. If you're ready to get time back in your day, manage your home with ease, and train your children in the way they should go, grab your pitchfork and planner, friend. Let's get to work. Hey friend, would you take a few minutes to write a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts? By doing so, you would let me know just how much you are enjoying the show and help get these episodes into the ears of women who are struggling with the same things you are. Go to simplylivinghomestead.com/review or tap that review button on your Apple Podcast player. I'm excited to hear from you. Welcome back to the homestead. Today we are talking about organizing styles and why it's not a cookie cutter fit. Why just simply going on Pinterest or looking on Instagram and trying to do what the person that you see behind the screen is doing isn't necessarily going to work for you and your family. Today, you should be able to leave this podcast knowing how your brain works and how to organize for how you see the world. So I am a hidden micro organizer. You're going to learn what some of these words are that I'm using as we go through this. But I'm going to start out by talking about how my family operates. So I'm a hidden micro organizer and my husband is a visual micro organizer. The difference is that he needs to see his things, and I would much rather have them behind closed doors. But both of us are going to go quite a bit detailed into how we organize or how we stack or put things into baskets, where they go in the drawers. But my mom, total opposite. She's visual and macro. If she can't see it, it doesn't exist. If it takes too long to put it away, it's never going back. And when we were teenagers, when we were kids in my mother's house, my mom and I were quite a bit at odds with how we organize. And truly, it's because we are complete opposites when it comes to how we need things to be in order for us to be able to keep up our space. And then moving back to the homestead and being next to my mother in a different house at that point, but like right next to her, and spending a lot of time in her home, and then doing the family move so that we all moved houses. I have had quite a few years of learning to organize for different brains and how different people see their space. And one of the big things I want you to take away from today's lesson is homes work when systems match the people living there. And you could actually pay a professional organizer to come in, but if they're not organizing in a way that your brain is going to latch onto it and be able to maintain it, it's never going to work. It's not going to help you in your day-to-day life. Let's start out by defining the terms that we are going to be talking about today. There are 4 terms, and it is micro, macro, visual, and hidden. So if some of those words are strange to you, let's give them some definitions really quick. Macro just simply means big. It means, and in our case, it means simple. Something where it's like broad categories, big. Then we have macro, and macro means small, or in our case, detailed. Visual means being able to be seen, and hidden means we don't want to see it. Okay, so those are our terms, and the way that the macro, micro, or simple and detailed, and then the visual and hidden are combined defines your style that you will be organizing for. So how do we find what section we want to be in? We will ask 2 questions of ourselves, and I want you to think through this because we kind of need to figure out how your brain thinks before we can really dive into the best way to organize for your family, for yourself, for your home, and where you're at, your stage of life, and all of these things. So, question number 1 is, do you need to see things to remember them, or does seeing things stress you out? Okay, so think about, pick a room in your house. I love using the kitchen as an example, so we're going to go there. Think about the kitchen and think about how the items in your kitchen kind of float around. Do you like to have like things on the counter, or is your kitchen like done and put away if you can like tuck those things away? For this question, we are asking, are we a visual or a hidden organizer? So example for that would be, as a hidden organizer, my preference is that everything is in a drawer or behind a door. My kitchen is in its happiest state when there is basically nothing on the counter. Like, I might have a little bit of decor. I have for the operation of my family, I have like chose to put some canisters on the counter, and then I have also decided to put some like spatulas and like stirring utensils. But honestly, I'd prefer they were in a drawer. But like to have the minimalist amount of things on the counter, so like everything is like very visually like not there. Where my mom is like everything's on her counter. I have tried to convince her to do open shelving. Like, she so much wants to see her stuff. Like, she kind of tends to think that and it's not conscious. Okay. When I say like she tends to think that she might forget it, that it exists, this isn't really conscious. It's not like she's sitting there and ruminating in fear that she's going to forget the spatula. But having the spatulas on the counter makes it so much easier for her. Having a number of things out on the counter, or being able to see what's in the cupboards without having to move anything, like, is really helpful for her as she's moving around the kitchen. So hopefully that kind of gives you an idea about hidden and visual. So if you have a piece of paper, or you have something close, or just think it in your mind, do you kind of resonate more with that visual, like you kind of want to see your things, or hidden, like you're gonna tuck it away, you'd much rather shove it somewhere, or seeing things kind of really stresses you out? Maybe you're not in a space that you have a lot of spaces to tuck it away, but like that's stressing you out. You're probably a hidden organizer. If you're like leaving things out, or intentionally, there was a period of time where we were literally pulling drawers out and stacking stuff on top of the drawers and leaving the drawers open, because to shut them meant that we were going to like not be able to get back into them, or we wouldn't be able to find the thing we were looking for because we couldn't remember which drawer we put it in. That would be a visual organizer. That's kind of an example of that. Okay, let's move on. So then the other part, and you're going to be visual or hidden. You're going to have one of those, and then you're going to either be simple or detailed. So the question that we ask for that is, do you prefer simple, broad categories, or detailed, specific ones? Now, I like to use pens as an example for this. I'm an artist. I love drawing. I love color. And for me, every type of drawing utensil is different. I am going to take one kind of, even within certain like broader categories such as colored pencils, I'm going to keep the brands separate. I'm going to be categorizing like quite a bit more detailed than someone who looks at it and goes, well, they're just colored pencils, right? And maybe they'll mix all their colored pencils together and they'll sort them by color, or they'll just have a big container of colored pencils. Another one that I've used is just like if you had markers and pencils and like they're all writing utensils, right? They're long, slender, and they're writing utensils. Would you rather have a big cup of those? Or would you rather they be in like separate containers? Again, I am a detailed organizer. So for me, on our command center, I have a container for pencils. I have a container for pens, and I have a container for dry erase markers. Like they're not all together. And when they start kind of getting mixed up and they all start getting, in each other's jars, I stand there and it stresses me out, okay? Now, for the record, I'm not OCD. I am not going to stand there and yell at people. That is not what we're doing here, okay? Recognizing that I don't like when my pens are mixed up is just simply being aware that I would like them separate, not necessarily going, oh my goodness, everybody is doing wrong, okay? So please do not get that impression as I'm talking through this. Now, a macro organizer, for example, my mom has a big jar and it has all the things in it. Her command center just has a jar and it has Sharpies, it has dry erase markers, it has pencils, it has pens. It's just a jar of writing utensils. And that works really well for her. Another question you could ask to determine if you are more of a simple organizer or a detail organizer would be to ask yourself, would you rather put it away fast or find it fast later? Okay, so stop and think about that for a second. Would you rather put it away fast or find it fast later? The opposite flip side to that is, would you rather take time to put it away or would you rather take time when you're finding it? Okay, so what does that mean? Well, you've answered that. Maybe in your head you're like, oh, I think I would lean a certain way. What does that mean? So if you would rather put something away fast, you're probably a simple organizer because it's not as big of a deal to you if you have to look through that can of pens and pencils and markers and stuff for a little bit longer to find the exact writing utensil that you want. Where for me, I would rather take a couple extra seconds for a pen, it would be a couple extra seconds, and keep them separate than to have to stand there and go, not that one, not that. I need that one, right? So a simple organizer is going to want to put it away fast and is willing to spend a little bit more time trying to find it. A detailed organizer will take a little bit more time to put it away so that they can find it exactly like as soon as they need it. Back to the kitchen illustration. Maybe you have a utensil drawer. And again, my mom is a simple organizer. So she had a giant long drawer. It was 2 people wide. Like, I'm just trying to give a verbal, like, I'm just holding my hands out. Obviously, you can't see them. She had a big, long, thin drawer where all her utensils went. And everything was in there. Spatulas were in there. Wooden spoons were in there. Plastic spoons were in there. Plastic spatulas for flipping food. Metal spatulas were in there. The potato masher was in there. We had this really, like, funny meat chopper that was shaped like a star. Anyway, everything was in that drawer. And it was just really easy to pull that drawer open and drop it in. Like, you knew everything. Oh, the ice cream scoop was in that drawer. Like, everything was in that drawer. For me, I have a bunch of little, like, containers, or dividers in my drawers to go, okay, these are the long and thin things. These are the, like, wonky things, like the potato masher. And, like, I have some categories because I don't want to go shifting through it. And when I was growing up, that simple organization, it made putting things away pretty easy. But, like, I hated having to stand in the kitchen trying to find that that utensil that I needed digging through all the utensils because I was a detailed organizer and my mom was not. And that's fine. Like, my point is to be like talking about how my mom and I are very different is to kind of point out there's lots of different ways that people are going to think about things. And if you go and you look on Pinterest and you look on Instagram and you look all these places and you find like what looks like a really, like, oh my goodness, her house is just so beautiful, and you try setting it up, you might not be able to maintain it simply because your brain doesn't work with that organization style. An example would be my mom cannot do filing cabinets. She cannot do filing cabinets. Like, she can do things on the wall. They're like the vertical filing organizers that kind of like go up and down the wall. She can do that. She cannot do a filing cabinet. Putting things in a filing cabinet is my dad's job. Like, she cannot. She probably could, but it like takes like a lot of effort and energy for her to do that. And so a lot of times the papers that should just go straight into the filing cabinet don't. They get laid on the desk and then my dad has to put them away. And so like a filing cabinet system, if it was for her things in her domain, the things that she is taking care of, organizing in a filing cabinet probably isn't the right way to deal with her paper clutter. Right? Where for me, a filing cabinet, I know exactly where the things are. I know how to flip through and have it labeled and like I can just put away things. Like, it takes me a little bit to get to where I need to shove the paper, but like when I need that paper, I know exactly where it is. And that works for me. But like for my mom, she needs something different. Let's recap what we just talked about. The first question was, do you need to see things to remember them, or does seeing things stress you out? This is visual or hidden. Visual, out of sight, out of mind. You need to be able to see it so that you can find it. Hidden, visual clutter is mental clutter, is you don't want it near you. Neither is wrong. They just have different needs. You will be one of these two things. The second question is, do you prefer simple, broad categories or detailed, specific ones? Or another way of asking that, would you rather put it away fast or find it fast later? You would either be simple or detailed organization. Simple organization is fast, put it away, broad categories, put it away fast. Detailed organization has specific, precise spots, detailed categories. You're going to take a little bit more time putting it away, but you're going to find it fast later. You're going to be either simple or detailed. So when I say that I am a micro or a detailed hidden organizer, that's what I'm referring to, is I take those two words, and it's not so much about being a label, but it is a label in a way of helping you understand how your brain works and how you can look at the world around you. This is not defining you, but we don't really want to look at these labels and label one as better than another. It is not better to find it fast later if that doesn't work for your brain. Like, none of these are superior to another. So, to wrap this up, every person has their own style. And you should first kind of think about yours as the mother of the house, as the one who is most often in our situations being on the homestead and taking care of that sort of thing. More often than not, you are managing the majority of the home, especially if you are a stay-at-home mom. You're going to be managing a large percentage of both the inside and the outside of your home and property. So a lot of the things are going to be organized for you. So I would encourage you to find your style first. Then the other people's styles to consider would be your husband's. How does your husband think about things? Your children, especially as they get a little bit older. The 10, 12 teenage range, especially, they're going to start kind of developing their own style as to how they think about the world around them. And we need to be organizing our home and designing our home so that the people who are using the space the most can reset it. Because that's the ultimate goal here with understanding visual, hidden, simple, detailed. Like, that is the goal here, is to build a home that can be easily reset and can easily be kept and returned to the baseline state so that our home functions and it works simply. Your home doesn't need a better system. It just simply needs the right one. It needs one that works for you. Our styles can change by room. They really can. They can change by the season of the year. Not as much, but they kind of can. And by the stage of life. So it is possible to kind of shift a little bit. Especially as you have different people and personalities coming in and out of your home. Sometimes you are going to have to restyle or reorganize a space to better fit. I'm going to quickly touch, pretty much out of time here, but I am going to quickly touch on the styles can change by room part. My kitchen is very much organized in a hidden detail style because pretty much I'm the only one cooking. But the office is set up in a visual, detailed way for two reasons. One, my husband uses it too. And two, the office also is part of the craft room. And for crafts, even I would prefer to see a larger selection of my items. I like to see my markers and my pencils where I can see them rather than having to go, was it behind that door or that door? I like visual shelving and options in the craft room. Now, I can't have it everywhere. I see the craft room pictures of people who every wall is visual and open and everything that they have is out. And I can't do that. I can't even create in that space because I need some quiet spaces because I'm a hidden organizer. But my husband loves that, right? He loves to see things. So because we both use the craft room and the office, we have done two things. One, I kind of need to see a few more things in that setting. And two, he's using it too. And so I am going to organize it and set it up in such a way that it's going to work for the people who are using it. So we will talk more about how to set that up and what we will be looking for. But my goal with this was to kind of walk us through what these styles are and give us some language around it. So today, think through what we talked about. Are you a simple or a detailed organizer? Do you prefer things visual or do you prefer them hidden? And come up with what your combination is. Then pick one small space, a drawer, a shelf, a counter, something, and adjust it to match your optimal organizing style. And then I would encourage you to take a picture of it, describe it in detail, and share it inside our Facebook group. Share your style and share what changes you made to that space to help start putting this into practice. And then give it a week and see if that space stays a little bit more organized, if it's a little easier to take care of that space and reset it. When your home supports you and your family, peace will follow. Resetting will become easier. If you find this conversation fascinating and you would like to implement it, but it does feel kind of overwhelming to do it on your own, I do offer one-on-one coaching. We can walk through your home, we'll set up a video call, and we can really help dive into some of these spaces in your home, find the pain points, find where things are falling apart, find where things are causing friction and pain points, and we can target them and we can set up a space that really works for you and your family. If you're interested in coaching, I have some links down below that can get you right to that, and you can book a call with us, and I would love to talk to you. Otherwise, shoot me an email, find me over on the Facebook community. We'd love to have you hang out with us. So until next week, have a great day. Hey neighbor, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If so, would you take 30 seconds and share this episode with a friend who is knee-deep in their own homestead? Also, please leave me a rating or a review on Apple Podcasts. It thrills me to know that this podcast is helping you. Keep watching those sunsets, friend. I'll meet you back here on the homestead soon for another episode. See ya!